We're doing a teen room makeover today, y'all. I'm finally getting around to sharing this. This was a project I started in January. My two teenage daughters who share this room are 16 and 14, and they were going for my daughter's 16th birthday to London with their grandmother. I know, spoiled, right? That's what I was thinking. I wanted to go. I didn't. Instead, I stayed here and decided to surprise her. Well, both of them, obviously, they share this room, but when they got back from London, I wanted to have their room makeover done. We've been talking about this for a while. I already did the other kids' bedrooms upstairs, and we kind of saved theirs for last because, as you can see, they have a lot of critters. They have bunnies, frogs, a lizard. There was a Syrian hamster. She was old and passed away, so I've got to get her cage out of here. But they also have dogs that live in here. What else? I'm sure I'm forgetting birds. Yeah, I knew I was forgetting something. So this was kind of one of those things that they told me that they trusted me. They like the makeovers I do. I knew that they kind of wanted like a bit of the dark academia feel. If you've seen that kind of design trend, they like that. But they wanted something mature. So that is what I dreamt up for them, and that is what we are going to be doing in this video. This is going to be part 1. There will be a part 2 because we're doing a lot in this room, y'all, and you will see we are doing a lot. This video would be like an hour if I tried to put it all into one video. All right, so we're going to begin by just cleaning the room out. I am wearing a mask and not, I mean, yes, they are teenagers, so they can be a bit toxic with their food and drinks in here, but I am allergic to the hay that the bunnies eat. And so this was a project I was kind of dreading because I knew my allergies were going to go nuts. So I took an allergy pill, some Flonase, and I'm wearing this mask. I was wearing goggles, but I couldn't see. And I was like, all right, I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So thank goodness it ended up working out. I had a little bit of allergies, but nothing too terrible. So yeah, my sister was actually here helping me for this project because we had such a time crunch. They were gone for about 5 days. I really, I tend to bite off more than I can chew. And this was one of those projects where I was like, oh no, if they come home and this room is like halfway done and it basically, they come home to a disaster, it will not be good. That's not a good surprise. That's kind of like, what are you doing to my room? I skipped a day, which is not helping my timeline at all, but I had other things that I just had to take care of. Went to the dentist this morning. Now I am ready to keep going. It's like a chorus. You're probably just gonna have to listen to the barking in the distance. I apologize for that. Anyways, my goal for today is I've got to take the quarter round off. And that doesn't have to happen today, but the quarter round is coming off. I'm leaving the trim as it is. I made some executive decisions about what I was going to actually like replace and change and what I wasn't going to stress myself out with. And since we're doing a solid color from the baseboard all the way to the molding, I'm not going to bother replacing the molding. So right now I need to prep the walls, just clean them, fill in any holes, let that stuff be drying. And then I've got to start marking off for the molding design. That's like it's just molding. It's decorative molding that's going to go on the wall in the, kind of rectangle shape long-wise. Anyway, so I've got to start marking that off. I'm going to attempt to use a laser level. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible on myself, but we'll see. We'll see. My assistant is not with me today. My sister helped me do all of the measurements and kind of figure out distance between everything so that it would look good and how much we needed. And she's at a birth today. One of her good friends is having a baby today, so she's at that birth today. So she's not here to help me double check my math. So this could go very poorly. We'll see. Can call this mathematician in to help me if I need it. He just ignored me. He's like, I'm not helping you. So this is actually my first time putting up any kind of decorative molding onto the wall. This is something that I was very inspired by Chris Loves Julia, her Instagram, and they used the same paint color in their bedroom that I'm going to be using in here. Now they went floor to ceiling and like on the ceiling as well. And I didn't want to quite do that in here. I wasn't sure. That made me anxious because they have a very large room with very high ceilings and they have a huge bay window in their bedroom. So I just kind of took some inspiration from the fact that they had some really beautiful molding on the wall. Theirs is all done by professionals. This is done by me, an amateur. So, you know, it's a bit of a second-rate version of what they've done, but I'm not trying to copy it. I'm just trying to be inspired by it. So this is my first time doing this type of thing, and I will be honest with you guys, it was worth it. When you see the end, you'll see. It was worth it. It gives the room such an elevated feel. But y'all, my math mind, which is very simplistic, struggled with this quite a bit. All right, I got this tool at Home Depot or Lowe's, I don't remember. It's for cutting cord around, but since the molding that I'm using is so thin, it so far has worked to cut that, which will make this so much easier if I don't have to get out the saw, unless this blade goes not so sharp. We'll see. First piece cut. Started some lines on the wall there. We'll see. I've got the laser. I'm just not sure exactly the best way to do this. So I'm kind of just trying a couple different things to see what will actually work. All right, I'm gonna put some liquid nails on the back of it, and then I'm gonna use my brad nailer to nail it to the wall. I made a couple of errors initially, but have been able to correct, thank goodness. Brad nails are forgiving. I think I have it finally figured out now, but this is gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. One wall down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to go. is the next morning. I am so tired. But I did finish all of the decorative molding on the walls. I did definitely smash my thumb with the dead blow that's for the floor that I was using to help me use that quarter round cutter thing. I couldn't get like enough. The grip parts of my hands are so sore this morning and they hurt very badly. But I was using this, like once I would squeeze it enough, then I would slam it with this. And I did slam my thumb one time and now it's like purple and cut and it hurts. So I never said that I was the smartest person in the world, guys. I think you know that by now. I've never claimed that. And I turn into like a freaking gorilla when I'm frustrated or irritated by some like small task. Anybody who knows me in real life, who hangs out with me, spends time with me, knows that if I'm like trying to open a small package or like untangle a necklace or something like that, if I can't do it within a few seconds, forget about it, look out, because I'm about to huck it across the room. Because that's basically like, I just go from like 0 to 100 with irritation with like small things like that, which is just so funny because I'm not an impatient person. Like with my kids and stuff like that, like I can be patient, but with like little things like that, I lose it like real fast. So now I just need to go through and sand and everything, and then I'm just gonna start painting. I have 2 cans of paint here that came in the mail. I sprung, like the big spring for this room was 2 things. 1, we're redoing the flooring, obviously that's expensive, and 2, the paint. I did go ahead and buy the actual Faro and Ball paint, and it's expensive paint, y'all. It's expensive paint. So I'm hoping that I have enough, especially because it's a dark color. But anyways, so I'm just gonna start painting because as soon as I finish the painting, then we can clear everything out and start working on the floor. It's still a mess in here, so I am gonna do a quick vacuum with the shop vac. It's always a little bit hard working around the animals and stuff. I've got a lizard here, bunnies on the floor. The bunnies have been like, they have this whole thing my daughter made them that they like climb inside and stuff. But they've gotten more comfortable with me being in here all day, so they'll come out and like play and sniff around at what I'm doing. But just kind of like trying to work around the animals. I'm sure they're irritated. They'll be happy now that all the like sawing and cutting and banging noises are done until we do the floor. But then the sawing, cutting, banging noises will be back. I can do this. Today's Friday and my daughters come home Sunday night. So I'm saying that and I'm like, oh girl, you better get your butt in motion.
And I knew from the first time I met you, I knew that heart is never light. Felt like the sun king in Versailles, and I fell from the first time I met you, baby, like a night sky in July. 'Cause you never leave me dry. You, baby, share new light all my life. And I knew when you told me your name, girl, was going to ride it on the road and shout it down till Montreal.
All right, so the paint color that I'm going to be using is, like I said, from Faro and Ball, and they are a UK-based paint company. And in my opinion, it's an expensive paint. I have since learned that there's even more expensive paint out there than this, so color me shocked. But I will put the finish because, again, I did this project in January, so I cannot remember, but I will put it in the description box. But the color is called London Clay, and it is like a milk chocolatey brown color that pulls like ever so slightly with a purple hue is what I would best describe it. I feel like I'm jumping ahead here a bit to tell you this, but when it is all said and done, I'm absolutely obsessed with this. I kind of like, dang it, I gave them the good room. They already have a bigger bedroom than I do. We have the master that there's like 2 masters in this house. Ours is the smaller one. They have the bigger one. I'm so jealous. But now that I saw like the decorative molding and when the paint color was all done, it's just, oh, chef's kiss. I love it so much. So I'll put the finish of the paint because I believe I did whatever their version of a flat matte but still wipeable paint is, because my preference for wall paint for most things is for it to have a flat or matte look. I don't want it to be high shine or glossy. But I like that on furniture. I just don't love that on the walls. So let's trim out, which again, Angie didn't think through that fact that if I put on this trim on the wall that, normally you just trim the 4 outside edges of the wall. Now I have to paint the trim around the trim. Oh boy, it was worth it in the end. It was worth it in the end.
I knew when you told me your name, baby. Things we will never be the same. 'Cause you never leave me dry. You, baby, shine new light all my life. Cause you never leave me dry. You, baby, shine new light all my life. Wash me in the water, cleanse me in the mercy of your love. I need a heavenly touch, 'cause I'll be backsliding. I need a little guiding for my soul. Only heaven knows, 'cause I just need a helping hand. It's gonna help me stand. It's gonna help me stand. 'Cause I just need a helping hand. It's gonna help me stand. It's gonna help me stand. Every now and then I get a feeling in my bones that I'm just wandering on my own. So I hit my knees and I'm crying out, please, oh Lord, won't you bring me back home? Yeah. Wash me in the water, cleanse me in the mercy of your love. I need a heavenly touch, 'cause I'll be backsliding. I need a little guiding for my soul. Only heaven knows, 'cause I just need.
I didn't think you guys needed to watch me paint for 45 minutes, which is what you would be watching if I put everything in here, because obviously I go back and I do a second coat on top of this. So we're going to flash to the next morning where I'm going to show you the 2 coats of paint, dry and beautimous. I am certain that this is not everyone's cup of tea, and that's totally fine, but I absolutely love it. and more importantly, my daughters love it. So this is where I'm going to wrap up part 1. I'm just hanging blinds. Again, I kind of talked about this when I did the boys' room, that we have no blinds in this house. This house came with 0 blinds on any windows. And at first I thought, oh, I'll just leave it like that. It's really nice. We get so much light. But you actually don't realize how, first of all, it gets real hot. And second of all, it really does kind of elevate the room and make it feel nicer. It makes it feel more done. I don't quite know how to explain it. It just has a more finished feel with the blinds. So I purchased the 2-inch faux wood blinds that we use on every window that we've done so far. And yeah, I'm going to hang those on all their windows, and we're going to end this one here. As I mentioned, we are doing flooring and I'll talk about that in the next one before anybody freaks out about us covering those beautiful old hardwoods. Hear me out in the next video. You're going to have to come back to hear what we're doing and why. I promise it will make sense, or at least it does to us. So that's what we're doing. But come back for part 2. We'll get the flooring and the next few projects done, and then the grand reveal. Always so exciting. I love projects.